some years ago, while I was at the university, I came across some material that showed that only 15% of the population, children population, live in a situation with both parents in the home. Not to discount the mother, both parents really important, but from a stability standpoint, you have to have a father present. It keeps the household grounded. I mean, I'm a spiritual man. I believe in the Bible, and you have to have the head of the household being male. In a society where the males are marginalized and not leading, and it starts from the home, it's going to be a backward one. So it's tremendously important, not just for discipline. People always focus and zoom in on the disciplinary aspect of the father. It's important, yes. You know, women sometimes are a little bit lax with the discipline. Not my mother, though. But for more reasons than that, we need fathers for have a good relationship with them children, hug them, tell them love them. Part of the deterioration of value and respect for men, the violence amongst men, I think, it's just my opinion, stem from how sons are grown. We have to be stoic, we have to fight for what we want, we have to show no emotion and so forth, and I think that is wrong. You know, if you have a father in the home where teach your son to love and love men, you know, in the sense where we are all human beings, and that love for human beings should be outgoing, then we'd have a better society. I think so.
Father and son, generally, in this society here in Jamaica, could be a little bit more tighter in terms of mentors. Most of the youth, them, from my recollection, my observation, they are fatherless. Not that their father don't exist, but they don't exist in their life. So my plea to our society would be for the father to play a bigger role, a more important role with their kids, whether son or daughter. You see me I say?
If every father would have played a part in them child life, would that be a better Jamaica? Because majority of the little young youth them were there on the road were linked with the big man them. Them not have a father for be there for them. And when them see them on the road for come outside and say go on in the house or go do your homework, 95% of the women them are them want to raise the kids them. Majority of the father them not there. Majority of the kids them where you see grow out to become somebody, them have a mother and a father. There for them.
It is reported that children in father-absent homes are 5 times more likely to be poor.
What you find happening now in Jamaican society, the fathers are in large part still not playing roles that they should be playing. And the depiction, the image of a father is absent. The image of what a good father is absent. So you find that you have a lot of surrogate fathers, mainly popular dancehall figures and the neighborhood don.
I would say to fathers in Jamaica that your role is critical. Your role is very, very important. It takes 2 to bring up a child, to share responsibility. And there's a role that fathers play that I think is very unique. I remember the second time my children went to Disneyland. The first time their mother and I took them to Disney World, but the second time their mother was ill, so I took them. And after we went through the gates of Disney, they had a sort of children conference. And then they approached me, and what they said was, "Daddy, could we go on all the rides that mommy wouldn't take us on?" And that was very key to them. So we were out there in Disney World, Space Mountain, and all these exciting rides. And I realized that there's a role that I played that mother doesn't play.
A study of nearly 6,000 children found that children living in single-parent homes had more mental and physical challenges than children living with 2 married parents. Interestingly, boys living in single-parent homes were found to have more illnesses than girls in similar situations.
Nurture, I've been saying to people, is very important. The worst statement anybody can say on a day when I'm trying not to be irritated is to tell me my mother fathered me. Virtually impossible, biologically impossible, and completely idiotic. Right? There's no female who has a big, heavy chest of 20 odd inches wide, who can father a child. When a child climbs up on a settee and jump on your chest, it's a man's chest she's or he's landing into. Ain't no bosom. Right? There's a completely different father love from mother love. When a child is sick and wants to feel soft bosom and feel absorbed in love and know that, look, somebody loves me, that child finds his or her mother and feels the warmth, a completely different body temperature, different plasma level. If we want to get into the biology, it's a completely different thing from saying, listen to me, the entire world has wronged me. I need to feel an anchor, boom, into your chest. That's father's love. Completely different. Not even to be used in the same sentence. I hear these people as if they're drinking rum every day. My mother fathered me. Where? When? How? You hear us men walking around, I mothered my child? Hell no. So why you want to father them? No, get a man. Get a father figure, get the pastor, get your uncle, get whatever. Get a male figure in the lives of these children to help you father the child. Don't go, and I tell single mothers all the time, don't do it. Don't go around about, me and God alone. You know? No, you and God alone can't raise no child. God don't work like that. Yeah? Unless it's a different God you're talking about. He's giving you a brain to go ensure the child has, you know, a father figure. And so it takes us to the matter of whether or not single females can raise boys very well. Yes. Yes. Single female mothers can provide the greatest love a boy can ever see. And can call on her brother or her father, which would be grandpa, or the pastor or the male teacher. I've seen these brilliant single mothers do it. They find a father for each of the 4 splintered roles. Check it out. They find a big, strong uncle and say, listen to me. Anytime you have a problem, go to your uncle. Right? So the boy can, when he goes to his uncle, right, both of them can knock chest, boom, boom. Right? And the boy can have a sense of solidness in the world, that there is somebody firm in the world I can talk to. I can make a phone call and say, uncle, somebody trouble me. Protection is covered. Then the single mother moves. And I tell you, I've seen mothers do this very expertly, almost as if they've read the book. Right? Then they move to, you know, creating a role model. You know, I've had mothers come to me and say, I'd like my son, I'd like to mentor my son. That's role model they're looking for, you know. The boy wants to become like Herbs. That's the role model, that's taken care of. Doesn't have to be like his criminal papa. You understand? She switched, and I've seen them do it. She switched the role model section from the criminal father to me, or to Barry Shivans was very good at this, right? And that boy is now safe. And then they nurture the pastor. And you'll see that are the male teachers. I appeal every day for more men to take a little time out. I did it, you know. I was in the primary school for 5 years. I knew ain't nobody going to pay as a male teacher, but I can give the country 5 years of not being paid. Let's just be honest about it. You can't pay a male teacher. The only way male teachers survive is to do 2 and 3 jobs, which I used to do. I used to do a regular school job, then in the evening I go teach gifted children, then after that I have another class, and you juggle as a male teacher. Otherwise, no, ain't no one going to look at you, but you're a male teacher. Understand what I'm saying? We have to find creative ways, because these people are helping to anchor the 4 splintered roles of fathers to keep our children alive. And this is the way how single mothers do it. Not no me and God alone. That's the hypocrisy, right? It's about expertly finding male figures to fit into these frames. So that's one of the critical things. And I'm telling you, I assure you, all the success stories I have checked where I'm a single mother and I raised this boy and he's turned out whatever, and I have checked personally, including books being written, there was always the pastor Always the male teacher, always the uncle. They're always there. So that is why we know it takes a village to raise a child. And we know for sure that single mothers can do well. Single mothers don't have to go out there and suffer. They can expertly select these people and go on.
Big up to all the fathers them out there. Show your child love.
I never grew with my father, but Nesbeth the artist, as my brother helped me to find my father. And since I find my father, I more love him show away. And I more love me I show him. So bless her, Dada.
Yeah man, big up my father from Patrick City, but here one, most of all, me I big up myself, cause you see my 3 kids them, me no run left them no time. Big up my son when I carve out. Bramaton said that.
In Jamaica I've worked a lot in the inner city communities, working with gangs. I remember one particular woman, Maureen, who had attended an interview that we had. It was largely for children at that time, but she had attended, and so I did a live story with her. She was 38 years old. She had 8 children, and she had a grandchild. And I remember her preoccupation then was with her son, who she said was being raised in the garrisons, and let's call him Richard. Her concern for Richard at that time was that he was attracted to the men on the corner, and she would beat him mercilessly because she was not able to control him. And so I had a session with her in which I probed the reasons for it, and she explained that her father, she had had an abusive relationship with her father. She had married a man who was also abusive. This was Richard's father. She had subsequently left him, and she was with another man who was also abusive. And so because Richard had been so accustomed to being abused, he was attracted to the guys on the corner who were softer towards him in many respects. They would send him to school, they would give him lunch money, and they would then send him on small errands. It started out with him buying marijuana, and then he was carrying their guns. And so he had developed this loyalty to them because he had found in them an emotional attachment that he craved with his own father. We have a culture of abuse that we have not really recognized, but men are used to receiving abuse and doling out abuse. It goes across the sexes. And so we have boys growing up within these contexts. And what they crave emotional connection, they crave love, they crave guidance, and they crave backative. And if the fathers aren't there, they're going to get that backative, as they call it, from any source that is feasible. And that is happening on the streets with the gangs. Fatherhood is so critical. And it's almost like this is something that we have to re-socialize people into, how to be good fathers, how to have good values, and how to impart those. It is in the absence of fatherhood, there's an entire moral shift. And sometimes there's a moral shift also because of the quality of fathers that we have. So I remember going to one remedial education institution and speaking to the boys there, finding out, as we know, it wasn't a new thing, that the quality of parenting and specifically the absence of fathers has led to dire educational outcomes. But I remember within that meeting that some of the guys got very combative. They would talk about who they want to kill, and they always wanted to kill their fathers. But when we asked them if they want, what would they do for their own children, they wanted to stop the pattern but did not know how to do that. And I find that very worrying. It is worrying because it is not just that they're getting involved in gun violence and they feel this need for revenge, but they're getting involved in all sorts of things because of the absence of fathers. We have guys, for example, who would tell me that without the support that they get from their fathers, they have sold themselves to the devil. They use that language frequently, or they are going to obeah men to get protection for their families. And it is strange what a gap in the home can do. It leads people in all sorts of directions. It was perhaps the most important finding from the recent situation analysis, that the lack of fathers is really having all sorts of outcomes, spiritual, emotional, educational, the whole works. And unless this is addressed urgently, then we are spiraling into something that is almost uncontrollable.
Of the persons who went to prison in 2009 for murder, 34 of them were male. 1 female. For manslaughter, 40 of them males, 1 female. Wounding with intent, 185 males, 14 females. Sexual offenses, 120 males, no females. Offenses against the person, 106 males, 7 females. Breaches of firearm, 174 males, no females. Shooting with intent, 20 males, no females. Larceny of motor vehicle, 362 males, 16 females. Drug possession and drug-related offenses, 360 males, 106 females.
Rain again, saying again. I mean, I say, Papa did gone. Never spend no time at home when I was just only 9 at home. And Mama have to work hard, like a dog, I try to find a bone. And yeah, man, I mean, I used to grow out a father, you know. So, only thing I big up Dada for is to bring me upon the earth. You get Mama pregnant so me can know to be a better father. And I say, big up the fathers them on Father's Day. Be a better father out there.
Yeah, I mean, I say, yo, big up to my father. You know, everything good. I know say dead for me and everything. But I say, yo, so the rest of man them out there, I bring the youth them and now mind them. You fail.
Well, my advice is, just be the best father you can be. You don't need no bag of money to be a father, because the money is not what's being the father, is you at the end of the day. When your child come home from school, you can have a sweetie if you give them a biscuit and give them a hug and tell them how much you love them and encourage them on whatever they do. And number one, never put your child down and tell them they cannot do anything. And don't show none that you love one more than one. Love the whole of them the same.
You tend to find that you have a whole bundle of kids on the street for no reason at all, being neglected by the sometimes father, sometimes both parents. And that's a very big problem because it contributes to a lot of happenings on the street.
Big up the father them. But really and truly, we have a very important role to play in the lives of our children. Whether it's boys or girls, it don't make a difference. We have to stand firm. Society needs us to play that role, to be an image that will transcend our lifetime. Because what we're leaving behind is what the face of the nation are going to look like. So it's a tremendous responsibility and I have to take it very seriously.
So every man just have to stand strong in them children's life. I understand some man may don't want to see their child because of the mother, but at the end of the day, mothers, you're not affecting the children's life. So you need to put the differences to the side and make the kids them have their father in their life. Even if you hate the father. Because at the end of the day, when the child grow up, he's going to hate the mother. Because every child in Jamaica, overseas, all over the world, want to know who their father is. So that is just my little saying on that.
The dads viewing this program right now, my word to you would be, get more involved in a youth them life. You know what I'm saying? Take them around. Carry them go buy ice cream, take them to the park, play football with them. Just hang out with your son, because your son is your friend. You understand?
I would say to the fathers of Jamaica, encourage your children. They need encouragement. They need this, particularly from their fathers, I believe. I never forget an incident of when my children were at prep school. There was a football competition, prep school football competition going on at one of the prep schools playing field. And at the halftime mark, a father went over to his son and he chewed out the poor boy. "What you doing on the wing? Are you an idiot? You're an ass. What you doing there, you fool?" And he chewed him out loudly and raucously. And I wonder what he expected of that chap. Does he expect that guy to go back on the field and do better? Trust me, he did worse in the second half. So let's encourage them. Let's build them up and be true fathers to them.
Me just said to the man himself, I know sometimes it might rough and it might seem like more than we can manage, but when you neglect the youth, them, you left them with very little opportunities.
A bigger part of the father them will bring them youth and know say, yo, them dead for them. You see me I say?
In other words, With the father around, the children tend to end up learning more, behaving better, observing laws, and are better equipped to contribute positively towards society.
It's not about money. It's about just spending quality time with your children, show them love, and show them that you care for them. And that you have their back no matter what the situation is.
Daddy, thanks for being such a stoic figure. You really showed me how a man should be, how a man should face adverse circumstances and deal with it internally. Also, the example that you have set has taught me to look at the worst of situations and try to transform it into the best of situations. That's the main thing that I would have to say thank you to my father for, because he was somebody who never looked at things as though they were at the time, but how he wanted them to be. And many times we didn't see the vision. It took a while, but over time we started to see it materialize. And I'm like that now. I believe in growth and expansion and taking your time, building things, and he has left that with me.
Most men, if they were like my father, it would have been a whole different situation. A perfect dad as far as I'm concerned.
My father, all hail to you, enough respect. You were there all the time, you know, and you left us with a lot of legacy. So give thanks. You are a role model in our life. Love you.
In closing, a personal plea to the fathers of Jamaica: be a provider, be a protector, be a mentor, be a guide to your children, and above all, encourage them.
Love, respect. All the fathers them out there. Yeah. Support them, you. Support them, you.